Hi everyone, my name is Pierre and my girlfriend Stephanie likes flashy colors. Now unfortunately she's got a grey Kia, that's why she asked me to put some Plastidip over her wheels. This video sits right in between a vlog and a tutorial in which I'm gonna show you how I did it. On that note, let's jump right into it. So the step 1 is to lift the vehicle, secure it and remove all wheels. Personally, I prefer to remove the wheels from the car, although you can leave it there, I just think it does a better job. As with any paint project, the next step is very important: the cleaning and preparation of your surface. Now trust me, if you skimp on that part, it's just not gonna stick and it's not gonna be durable. It's as simple as using soapy water in order to remove all the dirt and the grease from the wheels and the tires. In this case, I use dish soap. Yes, the tire as well, because that's where your overspray is gonna be going, and if you don't clean that part, it's gonna be real hard to remove at the end. Thoroughly rinse with water and allow the wheels to dry. Once the wheels are dry, we're going to keep on with the preparation. I'm using tire shine in order to make the tire surface real slippery, to make sure that the Plastidip will not stick with the overspray. This little extra step is going to ensure we don't have to tape the whole wheel and we get good coverage. Now pay extra attention to the lip between the tire and the rim. Once we are done with the tire shine, we want to make sure that none of it stick on the wheel, as it would prevent the Plastidip to stick. That's why I'm using Windex to do a final touch-up cleaning and make sure it's all gone. Once again, pay a close attention to the lip between the tire and the rim, as it's where the separation will be when we remove the overspray in the final steps. Once we're done with the very boring but necessary preparation and cleaning part, we can start with the fun part, which is the spraying. As we want our Plastidip to be as liquid as possible, we want to soak the bottles for 20 minutes in warm water before we start spraying. Also, you want to make sure you shake well, as indicated on the can. Generally speaking, you want to maintain between 6 and 12 inches for the spraying distance. Don't lay the first coat too thick. We want to get approximately a 50% coverage, which means that we're still gonna be able to see through the original color once we're done with the first coat. One coat down. Between the coats, we want to let it dry for 30 minutes away from direct sunlight. As you can see, my little umbrella here didn't cut quite the deal. I used a ramp to lay the tire rather than a flat surface. The reason for that is you want a nice and steady flow of Plastidip out of the can, which you will not get with all those weird angles on a flat surface. Vertical is also good. 2 coats down. Now when you think about it, 30 minutes between the coats seems like it adds up, but remember, we have 4 wheels, so once we start with the first wheel, let's say at 1 o'clock, once we're done with the 4th one, it's 1:20, then you have 10 minutes for a popsicle break, and when you come back, you can start again with the second coat. Four coats down. For the 5th and last coat, I decided to switch it up a little and get the wheels on a vertical position. That will ensure that I get all those little angles I might have missed with the previous coats and we get good coverage. Also note, at this point the overspray on the tire itself is becoming pretty thick. Now we want that because it's just gonna be that much easier to remove with the next step. A key thing to remember with Plastidip is the thicker the coat, the easier the removal. Allow it to dry for at least 30 to 40 minutes before we want to remove the overspray. For this step we're going to use a simple toothpick and create a hole in the Plastidip on the side of the tire. At this point it's just a matter of putting your finger in the little hole that you created and peel off the Plastidip. As I did a good job with covering the overspray with a thick coat, it's coming up real easy. For the final removal of the overspray, I used a metal brush in order to brush off the really thin part on the outside of the tire. If you brush it off within an hour from the last coat, it should come off fairly easily. Before you put the wheels back on the car, you want to make sure the Plastidip has at least 4 hours to dry. To be honest with you, I didn't do that, but I was extra careful. When I put wheels back on a car, I always use a hand tool to make sure that the lug nuts are properly engaged before I get the power tools out. The reason is very simple. Screwing up the threads on one of the lug is probably the easiest way to turn a 15-minute job into a half a day. I never fully tighten the wheel with the impact tool. We don't want to over tighten and risking the lug nuts to break. Once the car was back on the ground, I made sure that all the lug nuts were torqued to 80 foot-pounds with my torque wrench. That's it. The car still might be grey, but it has a little bit of purple personality now. I hope that you either learned something if you were there for the tutorial, or were entertained if you were there for the vlog. Thanks for watching,